Okay, so today I have a 1958 Royal Custom 2, and this is the original red, and it's kind of a metallic deep red, and it does have considerable wear on it, but we did not want to paint over it because the red is really hard to find when it's the original paint. And like I said, it's more of not a barn, like a brick red, I would say. It's the deeper color, and there is wear, so you can see wear here and here. And if you go to the link in the description below, you can see like there's a little bit of wear right there. And I think in the back, but even so, it still looks really good. If you can see. But anyway, I have up close images of this if you go to the link in the description below. But there was no way we were going to paint this because we just absolutely love this color. So this is the Custom 2, and obviously looks very similar to the Safari. So we're going to take a look at it, and hopefully you're going to love it. Okay, back here is your carriage. And to remove your carriage, the carriage release levers is this small tab, and it's on either side, and you just pull that forward. And that has a nice strong valve to it. Now, instead of margins being here, you have a magic margin right here. And so what you do is the margin is set right there right now. And let's say I want to go in. So I'm going to move in a little bit and just press it. Now that margin is set. But, see, it's in right there. But if I want the margin to go out, I need to hold it down while pulling in the carriage release, move it out, and then release both of them. Yep, so there it is. And the same for the left side. If I want to come in, just set it, and you can hear it kind of click. If I want to go out, I hold it while releasing the carriage, go back out, and then release. Okay, and so now it's there. So now I have a really wide margin, but for my purposes, I like narrow margins for my typing demo. So I'm gonna come in and set it here and set it here. Okay. This is your paper release. So that just releases the tension of the paper because there's some rollers in there that hold that paper in real nice and tight for you. And then this is your line selector. So when you hit the return handle, it's going to advance 1, 1.5, or 2 lines. And now this kind of releases the roller for you in case you need to line it up. Just like if you have lined paper or you have a box or something like that, that you just can't get things to line up just right, you can release that and then make sure it's re-engaged before you keep typing. Now, I'm going to move the carriage all the way to the left before I open up this top. And you just pop it open like that. Inside, you'll see we've put in a universal ribbon. It fits most typewriters. It's a 2-inch spool. This is has a 2-color ribbon in it, black on top, red on bottom. And you just thread it through all these guide wires right here. Now I have an up-close photo of this whole escapement area. And if you go to the link in the description, click on that. Even if the typewriter is sold, that link will take you to the photos and you can bookmark that for your reference. When you get to the end of the spool, it's not the end of the ink. There's a lot of ink in there. That ribbon needs to be manually reversed, and you do that right here. And you can do either side. It doesn't matter. And you can reverse the ribbon, the direction of that ribbon probably 50, 60 times before you need to change out the ribbon. And if you need new ribbon, you can visit our website at untitled.typewriters.com and you will find ribbons there. There's also a link in the description below. By the way, before I go any further, would you mind going down there and pressing that like button for me? Sure would appreciate it. Thanks so much. Okay, now you take your top and these little metal pieces right here are gonna go, you'll see a little, it looks like a pinchy thing I don't know what they're called. Sorry. And you just kind of press them down in there. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and do some typing. All right, you just set your paper right there, turn the handle, brings it around, and make sure your paper goes underneath the metal bar. Put that bar back down. I like to make sure that it's even. It's just slightly off, so I'm gonna bring forward this lever to release the paper tension, or the tension on the paper. Line it up, and then re-engage it. All right, let's go ahead and do some typing. This is, I think, a 1958. Oh, and by the way, the number 1 on this one does not work. I don't know why. My husband's not here to ask. Now the exclamation point works, but not the number 1. So a lot of vintage typewriters don't even have a number 1, so you just use the lowercase l. So 1958. Royal Custom 2. Oh, and this is such a pretty typeface. Do you see that? It has, it's a serif, but it even had, like that W has a little curl on the end, not W, Y. Has a little curl on the end. It's a beautiful typeface. I really love it. Okay, let's keep going. Let's do all the keys. So this is a smaller font. It looks like it's a 12 CPI, which is elite. And so that's good for those of you who want to do a lot of writing, because then you get more characters per line and thus per page. Also, I forgot to show you the column. So the column is the same thing as a tab. So if you hit column, I haven't checked to see where it's set. That went all the way there. So let's try setting it. And it's a magic column set. So you should just be able to press it and have it set. Let's see if it did. It did. So, and then this is the clear. I'll lift this up. So there's the column set, column clear. And then this is the column button. What am I on? Here we go. Okay, let's do some sentences. Whoops. Backspace. Backspace does not erase, but if you make a mistake and you need to backspace and then type over yourself, you can. So there's the bell that says, hey, you're at the end of your line. The margin is coming up. You need to hit the return handle. And so you just hit the return handle. I set it too narrow, but that's okay. Okay, there's that bell again, but this time I'm going to keep going. Okay, so now it's going to stop on me because it's like, hey, you set your margin and we're going to tell you you can't go any further. But I'm in the middle of a word and I want to finish it. So I hit margin release, M-A-R right here, R-E-L, that's margin release. It actually advanced one space, so I'm going to backspace and then finish my word. For some reason, it kind of got stuck there. So I wouldn't use that margin release too much. It looks like it kind of made the space bar stick a bit, and I had to do some back spacing and space barring. And I've seen that before where it kind of, on typewriters, it kind of messes up the whole spacing and kind of makes everything stick. So on this one, margin release, iffy, okay? I wouldn't depend on it. I would just, when that bell goes off, I would just go ahead and hit the return handle. So I'm gonna redo that sentence. Okay, so yeah, it works just fine. In terms of I didn't have any space bar or spacing issues. That only happened after I used the margin release. Okay, let's try the red. By the way, your color selector, you have red, black, and then the white actually means stencil. You're never going to use it, but the typewriter's not going to type properly on this setting, so make sure it's firmly on black or red. Okay, I'm really liking this typewriter. Obviously you could see I had very narrow margins, but I just did that for the typing demo. Okay, this is why I really like this typewriter, even though the margin release doesn't work well. I have like 10-year-old hands. Someone even commented yesterday where they're like, oh my goodness, your hands are so tiny. Well, they are. I'm 5 foot nothing, and my hands are the size of a 10-year-old. So sometimes typing is hard for me because my hands are so petite. This was really easy for me to type on. I didn't have to single finger it or double finger it. I could use the home row. Just the feel of it was very simple. I could type quickly on it. So this would be good for younger typers. It would be good for those of us who have smaller hands. And even though it's not the prettiest, because we didn't repaint it, so it shows a lot of wear, and because the margin release isn't that great, I still would recommend this for your longer writing projects, because I could get into the flow so easy. A lot of typewriters, it takes me a while to figure out if it's got a good flow. This one, I could find it right away. And I love that for long writing projects. And for that reason, I'm gonna recommend this for those of you who are gonna do extensive writing. I found it to be a very nice typing machine, even when I was doing my typing demos before. So 2 things with this typewriter. The number 1 doesn't work, but the exclamation point does. Okay. I'm not sure why the number 1 doesn't work, but that's okay. You just use the lowercase l as you would with any other vintage typewriter, because most of them don't have a number 1. So that's really a non-issue because most typewriters don't even have the number 1. So really the only issue with this one is the margin release, and you're just gonna have to know, hey, soon as that bell goes, you gotta hit the return handle, and that's okay. But otherwise, I think you're gonna love this typewriter. I mean, I do. I just, the color, the ease, and I just enjoy typing on it. And so I hope you're going to enjoy it as well. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. Thanks again for watching. Remember to give me a thumbs up, and you all have a blessed day.